This is the finished product of today's project. Hi everyone, today we're going to be making Perler bead bracelets, or you can use fuse beads, or you might use Hama beads. This is what it looks like. This is the pattern we're going to be doing today. Alright, we're going to go ahead and go through your materials you'll need for this. First, you're going to need stretch cord, 1 millimeter width. I use the clear, but you can also get different colors. Your perler beads you can get in packs of 1,000, which I already separated out, or you can get trays, or there's also big buckets you can get if you're going to use a lot. Scissors, and also super glue, which I'll show you how you're going to use to dab on your knot to hold it in place. I also like to use a sewing needle for my cord. It makes it go along a lot faster and works really well, but you don't have to use one. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started. I already have my cord cut. I used about a yard to 2.5 feet for my size wrist, an adult size wrist. Alright, first you're going to get your bead and you're going to tie a knot to hold it on there tight. This bead's going to stand out a little bit, so some people like to use a charm in this place just to make it look good. So I tie one knot, and then I'm going to tie something called a surgeon's knot. If you watch closely, I'll loop that around there twice and then pull it tight. Alright, once you have it tight, go ahead and hold it in place. It's a little tricky to get with one hand, but once you get it in place, get your super glue. And you'll just dab that right on the knot. It just takes a little bit. And be careful where you're holding this. Even glue can come out of the cap. So I like to keep it in my plastic from the stretch cord package. Alright, once that's dry, you're ready to string your cord onto your needle. For this pattern, we're going to do alternating colors to start out. So I have my purple, my coral, and then my purple. Go ahead and string that down to the bottom. Alright, now once it's down to the bottom, you're going to put your needle or just your string through the third bead down from the top. Alright, pull that tight. Alright, this is what it should look like once you have it pulled tight. Now we're ready to put our next bead on here. Alright, you're going to do the next color. So now I'm ready for my coral. Now you can see it's really easy. You're going to put the needle or the string through the bead that's sticking out at the top. And each time we do this, after we put a bead on and we pull it tight, we're just going to flip it over. And then we're ready for our next bead. So this time we're going to do the same color we did as last time. So I'm going to use my coral again and string it through the bead that's sticking out up top. This whole time you need to make sure you're pulling it really tight. When you get to the end, your bracelet won't be straight. It'll be a little crooked, which the first time I did this it was a little bit crooked. But if you just make sure you pull it tight the whole time, that was the problem. So just keep following that pattern and string your beads on there. So at this point, remember we're doing two of the same color and then you'll switch to your other color. If you wanted to add other colors in here, you could do more than two. Just keep on adding them in 2 at a time. Just flip that over. Alright, so we have it tight. Alright, once you get a little bit done, this is what it'll look like, just so you can see how the pattern's going to lay out. We're still just going to keep pulling it tight. You'll get faster at this after you do a few. It is a little time consuming at first. Alright, now I'm to the end. Just check the bracelet to make sure if it's your wrist or if it's for a child, check their wrist. When you get to the end, you want to make sure you can see there's a bead sticking out and how it goes in place. But if it doesn't, then you're just going to need to add one more bead and then it'll fit perfectly as you see right here. Alright, so now to tie these together, we're going to put the needle through the bottom bead sticking out and then through the top bead sticking out. And then we'll string it through both. Pull it tight, try to hold it tight the whole time you're doing this. Right now we're done with our needle. So you're going to take your tail end cord from the beginning and tie that together with your finishing cord that you were just using. So just like in the beginning, I'll tie one knot and then I'm going to tie my surgeon's knot. So loop that around there once and then loop it around there twice. Alright, pull it tight. Get it where you can hold it with one hand, pulling it tight. And then we'll get our super glue and we're going to dab it on the knot just like we did in the beginning. So remember, just dab a little bit of glue, doesn't take much. And it's practically forming plastic, it hardens, so you're going to let it dry and that'll hold really well. Try to pull it tight while you're letting it dry. Alright, now that our glue is dry, we're ready to cut the tail ends off. Cut it fairly close, just so they're not really visible. Alright, and there you have it. There's your finished perler bead bracelet. If you liked the video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you next time.